Good evening, guys. Lanisha here for day 14, I think. I think it's day 14 of the 30 Day Live Challenge. If this is your first time joining me, let me give you the scoop. So, about 2 weeks ago, someone challenged me to go live every day in December, and I started early. So, that's why I'm a little ahead of the rest of my accountability group. And I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to finish out this month. Last week, I talked to you guys about reading proficiently. I shared with you guys some tips on how to read proficiently, and I hope you guys found value in it. This week, hey Nicole, hey Tiffany, this week we're going to be talking about whether or not you are the problem. Are you the problem in your child's performance? And this week we're going to talk about 5 ways to determine if it is you. So tonight we're going to take just one of those areas and talk about what you could be doing differently to impact your child's performance in the classroom. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Before we do that, for any of you who do not know me, maybe you see this from a share. My name is Lanisha Lamb. I am author and writing mentor. I'm also the founder of the Pretty Geeky Kids Club, and our mission is to provide a holistic approach to fundamental learning, providing solutions that yield results. If you are on the live, say hello, drop an emoji, dab on them. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. I just want to see who's joining me, no matter when you're joining me. I'm glad that you guys are here. Hey, Antonia, and without further ado, we're going to jump right on in. So tonight, we're talking about one of the ways that you could be the reason why your child is not performing in the classroom. So, reason number 1 is organization. You lack organization. So, how can you improve in this area? Ask yourself these questions. Do you have a system as it pertains to your child's homework? So is there a specific time? Is there a specific place? Are there any distractions? Are you allowing them to be independent? These are a few things that you can ask yourself about your setup to see whether or not you are the problem, right? So let's take it from the top. Organization. The way I have my system set up is Corbin has a place in my office. You can kind of see it behind me. He has a place in my office. He has his own desk back there where he can do his homework, and we have like a million supplies and different manipulatives that he can use to do his homework. Every day when he gets out of school, he has maybe a little small break, not long at all, before it's time for him to jump right in and do his homework. So he sits down. When he comes in, yes, Antonia, routines are important. He comes in, he takes off his clothes, changes into his loungewear, hangs up his clothes, goes into the office to sit down and do his homework. As I've been reading articles, obviously my mom has been telling me that I need to do this. And you know, that's your mom. When your mom gives you advice, you listen, right? But there are also psychologists who attest to this as well, being beneficial to the experience because they have a routine, one, and when they have a specific place or a specific time to do their homework, they immediately go into learn mode, right? So they know that whenever I sit down at my desk, whenever it's 3:15 or 3:20, whatever, I know it's time for me to get down to business. I know I don't have to worry about the Wii. I don't have to worry about the Nintendo, whatever other games there are. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff because at 3:15, it's time to do some math. It's time to read and all of that good stuff, right? So it's really important to establish those routines in your child's life. The more organized he is at home, the more organized he will be in the classroom, right? So I'm going to tell you guys a little secret about me. One thing that I'm about to work on to change. So Corvin is an only child, and he is spoiled. People have been telling me that he's been spoiled for a long time, and I kind of don't listen. I kind of like whatever, you know. But I am realizing just how spoiled he is, just in the way that he does certain things. So I would have to say that I'm going to have to take a step back from spoiling him so much and being so hands-on, and which is one reason why I've established a really strict routine for him. So he has to hang his coat up himself. I cannot, yes, only children. I am no longer hanging his coat up for him. I am no longer cleaning his room. He has to do this stuff himself so that when he's in the classroom, he knows that it's his responsibility to do, you know, whatever the teacher is assigning for them to do. The things that we establish in our children's lives at home, it really shows up in the classroom. And the lack of organization or the lack of responsibility also shows up in the classroom, right? So we talked about the routine tonight in terms of doing their homework, being organized. The more organized we are at home, the more organized they are going to be in the classroom. So what I want you guys to do tonight in the comments, if you join me live or if you're joining me on the replay, is share with me what your routine is for your child. When they get off the bus or when you pick them up from school, do you give them a break? Are they jumping right into their homework? What is it that you are doing in your household? You never know who you may inspire with your routine or who you may help by sharing what it is that you do in your house. Each night this week, we're going to be talking about a different way that we can impact our child's classroom performance at home. And tonight is about organization. So make sure that if you do not have a routine in place, that you establish one, because you can't really expect for little Tim Tim to have his papers neatly organized in the classroom, for him to be attentive and he's focused whenever he's in the classroom, if you do not allow him to do that at home. If he can do his homework and play the Wii at the same time, or he can do his homework and watch TV at the same time, or he can do his homework whenever he wants, or get up and sit down whenever he wants, he's going to have that same lack of focus or lacking focus in the classroom, which is what we don't want, right? We are coming up into the middle of the year. I think most of us, if you're at traditional schools, you should have just got your progress reports, and then after we come back from break, we should get our report cards and then have the middle of the year assessments. So at this point, we're going to know where our children stand and what we need to do, if anything, to get them ready for the end of the year and the next grade level. So hopefully all of us will have or have had very successful semesters. So when we get our middle of the year assessments, there's nothing that we feel like we need to hurry and do. Hopefully we've already been preparing them. If there is something that you feel like is lacking or something that you need to do, or if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. That's what the Pretty Geeky Kids Club is here for, is to provide support to the parents. But tonight we are really focused on organization. So if you do not have a routine, scroll through the comments, because I'm hoping that some of the parents are going to jump on and share what they're doing in their home. But one thing I'm going to suggest is to create a routine if you don't have one already. And not only create it, but stick to it every single day. And I'm going to share with you guys later on in the week some of the impacts of one of the routines that I've created in terms of bedtime. We will talk about that later in the week. I'm not going to talk about that tonight. Tonight is just organization. So if you haven't already, say hello, drop what your routine is, drop it below, let me know what you're doing. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's all I have for you. This is part one. We're talking about whether or not you are the reason why your child isn't performing. And tonight we're talking about organization. So are you organized? Does your child have a routine? Is your child focused when they're doing their homework? If not, then you need to make some changes. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, when we go into part two of whether or not you are the problem of why your child isn't performing in the classroom. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.